Have you ever reached for that convenient bag of mixed nuts, thinking you're making a healthy choice for your aging body, only to find yourself dealing with unexpected digestive issues or medication interactions later? You're not alone. As we age, our nutritional needs change dramatically, and what worked for us in our 40s might actually be hampering our health in our 60s, 70s, and beyond. But the truth is, not all nuts are created equal when it comes to supporting health after 60. Some can be powerful allies in fighting inflammation and supporting brain health, while others might be secretly sabotaging your medication effectiveness or contributing to uncomfortable digestive problems that seem to become more common with each passing year. In this video, we're going to talk about the 5 best nuts you should be incorporating into your diet after 60 to support healthy aging. Nuts that can help manage inflammation, support heart health, provide essential nutrients that become harder to absorb as we age, and even help maintain cognitive function. But just as importantly, I'll also reveal the 5 nuts many seniors should approach with caution or avoid altogether due to their potential interactions with common medications, their impact on existing health conditions, or their poor nutritional profiles relative to better alternatives. Stay with us until the end because I'll be sharing a simple weekly nut rotation plan that takes the guesswork out of incorporating these powerhouse foods into your diet in the right amounts and combinations. This practical approach has helped thousands of my older clients enjoy the benefits of nuts without the confusion or potential downsides. When we talk about the absolute best nuts for supporting health after 60, walnuts deserve their place at the very top of our list. These brain-shaped nuts aren't just coincidentally similar to the organ they benefit most. They're nature's true cognitive enhancers packed with nutrients specifically beneficial for aging brains. Many people overlook walnuts in favor of more common or less bitter options, like almonds or cashews. This oversight means missing out on what might be the single most powerful food for brain health available to us. What makes walnuts so special? They contain the highest amount of alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid of any nut. This matters tremendously because as we age, our brains become more vulnerable to inflammation and oxidative stress, which are major contributors to cognitive decline. The science behind walnuts' brain benefits is compelling and accessible. These nuts contain polyphenolic compounds that cross the blood-brain barrier, directly helping to neutralize free radicals that damage brain cells. One landmark study from UCLA found that adults who consumed walnuts regularly had significantly better cognitive test scores than those who didn't eat walnuts. Think of walnuts as tiny shields for your neurons, each one providing protection against the daily onslaught of oxidative stress that accelerates after 60. The impact of regular walnut consumption extends beyond just mental sharpness. Many of my clients report feeling both physically and emotionally better when they incorporate walnuts regularly. Memory improvements are common, but so are better mood stability and reduced anxiety. Benefits particularly important in our later years when neurochemical changes can affect our emotional well-being. Walnuts manifest their benefits in several noticeable ways. You might find yourself recalling names more easily within weeks of regular consumption. The persistent brain fog that many associate with senior moments often begins to lift, and that sense of mental fatigue by late afternoon. Many find it significantly reduced when walnuts become part of their routine. So what should you do to incorporate this brain-boosting powerhouse? I recommend starting with a daily serving of 1-2 ounces, about 14 halves of raw, unsalted walnuts. They can be slightly bitter if you're not used to them, so try chopping them finely and adding them to morning oatmeal with berries, or blend them into smoothies. The important thing is consistency. The neural benefits build over time with regular consumption. Now, while walnuts set the gold standard for brain health, they're just the beginning of our journey through the transformative nuts that can help support vibrant health after 60. Next, we'll explore a nut that addresses one of the most common yet overlooked aspects of aging, the critical need for mineral balance and bone density maintenance. Moving on to our second nutritional ally, let's talk about almonds. Nature's answer to the calcium and bone density challenges that become increasingly crucial after 60. Unlike walnuts that primarily target brain health, almonds serve as exceptional bone defenders at a time when maintaining skeletal strength becomes absolutely vital. Many people mistakenly believe that any calcium supplement or dairy product provides adequate bone support in later years. However, almonds offer a complex matrix of nutrients that work synergistically in ways that isolated supplements simply cannot match. This distinction matters tremendously because after 60, our bodies absorb and utilize calcium less efficiently, making the form and accompanying nutrients increasingly important. At the core of almonds' bone-supporting properties is an impressive nutritional profile. Just 1 ounce, about 23 almonds, provides approximately 75 milligrams of calcium, along with crucial magnesium, 77 milligrams, that helps regulate calcium absorption and utilization. This is essential knowledge because without sufficient magnesium, calcium can't properly integrate into bone matrix, a detail many calcium supplements completely overlook. The impact on daily life becomes noticeable when bone health is properly supported. Many seniors find that good bone density translates directly to confidence in movement, reduced fear of falls, and maintaining independence longer. One client, Margaret, incorporated a daily almond routine at 67 and shared that after 8 months, her bone density scan showed stabilization after years of decline, the first positive report she'd received in a decade. A common misconception is that any nut will provide similar benefits to bone health. The reality is that almonds stand almost alone in their exceptional calcium-magnesium balance. Another misunderstanding involves preparation. Raw almonds are good, but dry roasted without added oils or salt actually increase the bioavailability of their minerals, making them even more effective for bone support. For practical implementation, I recommend soaking raw almonds overnight in water, which deactivates certain enzyme inhibitors and makes their nutrients more bioavailable. Aim for a daily serving of 1.5 ounces, approximately 20-30 almonds. They can be enjoyed as a standalone snack, chopped into yogurt, or ground into homemade almond butter for spreading on whole grain toast or apple slices. But before we continue with our next remarkable nut, let me check in with you. If you're still watching, you clearly care about making informed nutritional choices that can transform your health after 60. I'd love to hear which nuts you currently include in your diet. Share in the comments below which ones you eat regularly and why. And if you're finding this information valuable, consider subscribing to our channel for more evidence-based nutrition guidance specifically tailored for vibrant aging. Next up, I'll be revealing a surprising nut that can significantly help manage a condition affecting over 60% of adults over 60. You won't want to miss this one. Our third nutritional powerhouse brings us to pistachios, perhaps the most underappreciated nut when it comes to managing one of aging's most common challenges, blood sugar regulation. This green-tinted treasure deserves special attention because it directly addresses metabolic issues that become increasingly prevalent and dangerous after 60. Why is this particular nut so important? Because approximately 1 in 3 Americans over 65 has diabetes, and many more have prediabetes or undiagnosed blood sugar irregularities. Despite these statistics, pistachios remain overlooked in favor of medications alone, without recognizing how this specific nut can serve as a powerful complementary approach to glycemic control. Let me explain the science in everyday terms. Pistachios have the lowest carbohydrate content of virtually any nut, while providing an impressive combination of protein, fiber, and healthy fats, creating what nutritionists call the perfect metabolic trio for blood sugar management. When consumed, this unique composition slows carbohydrate absorption from your meal, resulting in a gentler rise in blood glucose rather than the sharp spikes that damage vessels and nerves over time. Research from the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that adding pistachios to a high-carbohydrate meal reduced the post-meal blood glucose response by nearly 20%, a significant effect for such a simple dietary addition. Think of pistachios as natural brake pads for your blood sugar response system, creating smoother metabolic transitions after meals. The emotional dimension here matters deeply. For both seniors managing diabetes and their concerned family members, finding natural, enjoyable ways to support blood sugar management provides a sense of control and optimism. One participant in my nutrition workshop, Robert, incorporated a small serving of pistachios before his evening meal and found his morning fasting numbers improved noticeably within just 2 weeks, giving him confidence that dietary choices could meaningfully complement his medical care. When this blood sugar irregularity requires immediate attention, is when you notice significant thirst, unusual fatigue after carbohydrate-heavy meals, or unexpected weight changes, all potential indicators of developing insulin resistance. Pistachios can be especially beneficial during these early warning stages, potentially helping to slow progression when incorporated with other appropriate lifestyle changes. For long-term management, consistency is key. I recommend 1.5 ounces of pistachios daily, about 49 kernels, ideally consumed about 30 minutes before your largest or most carbohydrate-rich meal of the day. Choose unsalted varieties whenever possible, particularly if you're also managing blood pressure concerns. The satisfying task of shelling them yourself has the added benefit of slowing consumption and bringing mindfulness to your eating experience. Another factor that improves metabolic response. While pistachios work wonders for blood sugar balance, our next remarkable nut addresses another critical aspect of aging that affects millions: cardiovascular health and the management of healthy cholesterol levels. Let's explore how this next option might be the missing piece in your heart-healthy diet. Our fourth nutrient-dense ally brings us to pecans, a Southern tradition that deserves recognition as one of the most potent supporters of cardiovascular health after 60. While many nuts offer heart benefits, pecans stand out for their exceptional ability to improve lipid profiles precisely when maintaining heart health becomes most crucial. How does this particular nut progression impact health? Heart disease remains the leading cause of death among seniors, with cholesterol management being a primary intervention target. Pecans enter this picture with an impressive nutritional profile specifically suited to address multiple aspects of cardiovascular health simultaneously, going beyond what many medications can do alone. Let me share the cardiovascular science in conversational terms. Pecans contain the highest amount of antioxidants among all nuts, particularly a form called gamma-tocopherol, a type of vitamin E, that has specific anti-inflammatory properties within the arterial system. Additionally, they're rich in monounsaturated fats similar to those in olive oil, which help reduce LDL, the problematic cholesterol, while preserving HDL, the protective cholesterol. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that incorporating pecans into a regular diet led to significant reductions in LDL cholesterol and triglycerides, comparable to low-dose medication effects, but with additional benefits medications don't provide. This matters tremendously because lowering these cardiovascular risk factors directly correlates with reduced heart attack and stroke risk, critical considerations after 60. The quality of life impact becomes evident in both physical energy and peace of mind. Improved circulation from better cardiovascular health means more stamina for daily activities, while knowing you're actively protecting your heart creates emotional security. Barbara, a 72-year-old participant in my nutrition program, incorporated pecans daily and found that after 3 months, her doctor reduced one of her blood pressure medications, a tangible result that motivated her continued nutritional focus. When considering professional guidance, pecans should be discussed with your healthcare provider if you're on anticoagulant medications like warfarin, as the vitamin K in pecans may interact with these medications. However, for most seniors, pecans represent one of the safest, most effective functional foods for heart health. For practical daily management, I recommend 1.5 ounces of pecans daily, about 20 halves. They're delicious on their own, but also make an excellent crunchy topping for salads or roasted vegetables. For the most benefits, choose raw or dry roasted pecans without added oils or sugar. A particularly effective strategy is replacing less nutritious snacks with pecans during the afternoon energy dip many seniors experience, providing sustained energy while simultaneously supporting heart health. As we prepare to discuss our fifth and most powerful nut recommendation, let me check in with you again. If you're still with me, you're clearly committed to discovering the most effective nutritional strategies for vibrant aging. I'd love to know which of the nuts we've covered so far you're most excited to incorporate into your routine. Leave a comment below with your choice and why it resonates with your health goals. And if you're finding value in this evidence-based guidance, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming videos on anti-inflammatory foods for joint health and the surprisingly simple breakfast changes that can boost energy after 60. Now let's move on to our final and perhaps most important nut recommendation, one that addresses multiple aging concerns simultaneously with remarkable efficiency. We've now reached our fifth and most powerful recommendation, Brazil nuts, which deserves special recognition as perhaps the single most effective nut for addressing multiple aging-related concerns simultaneously. This particular food stands as the most overlooked nutritional intervention for seniors, despite offering benefits that directly target several critical systems affected by aging. Why is this massive, creamy-textured nut so remarkable? It contains the highest natural concentration of selenium found in any food. A single Brazil nut provides approximately 175% of the daily recommended intake for this essential mineral. This matters profoundly because selenium deficiency becomes increasingly common after 60 and is linked to thyroid dysfunction, reduced immune response, cognitive decline, and increased cancer risk, all critical concerns in later years. Let me explain the detailed yet accessible reason for Brazil nuts' effectiveness. Selenium functions as a required cofactor for the production of glutathione peroxidase, often called the body's master antioxidant, which neutralizes free radicals throughout all tissues. As we age, our natural production of antioxidants decreases significantly, making dietary sources increasingly vital for cellular protection. Brazil nuts effectively provide this protection in a uniquely potent bioavailable form that synthetic supplements cannot match. The connection to previous points becomes clear when we understand that optimal thyroid function, which depends on selenium, affects metabolism, energy, brain function, and even the effectiveness of the heart-healthy compounds in other nuts we've discussed. Think of Brazil nuts as the keystone that can enhance the effectiveness of all your other nutritional strategies. The critical importance of proper selenium levels becomes evident when we look at population studies showing up to 35% lower cancer mortality rates in selenium-sufficient populations versus deficient ones, with particularly strong protective effects against prostate, colorectal, and lung cancers, all of which increase in risk with age. For specific actionable guidance, I recommend just 1-2 Brazil nuts daily, no more, as selenium can become toxic at high levels. This measured approach is important. Unlike other nuts where more is better, with Brazil nuts, precision matters. I suggest eating them in the morning with breakfast to support metabolic function throughout the day. They can be chopped and added to oatmeal or yogurt, or simply enjoyed whole alongside your morning meal. It's worth noting that Brazil nuts from different regions contain varying selenium levels. Those from the Amazon basin typically contain the highest amounts, while commercially grown varieties from other regions may have somewhat lower levels. Even accounting for this variation, a single nut daily provides significant benefits while remaining well below any concerning threshold. As we transition to our conclusion, it's important to recognize that understanding which nuts to include is only half the equation for optimal aging. Equally important is knowing which commonly recommended nuts might actually be undermining your health after 60. Information we'll cover in our comprehensive overview. Now that we've explored the 5 most beneficial nuts for supporting health after 60, let's briefly recap their unique contributions. Walnuts serve as cognitive enhancers, protecting brain function. Almonds provide essential minerals for bone health. Pistachios help regulate blood sugar. Pecans support cardiovascular health. And Brazil nuts deliver critical selenium for thyroid function and cellular protection. But equally important to know are the 5 nuts many seniors should approach with caution or avoid altogether. Cashews, despite their popularity, are technically not true nuts but seeds with a high carbohydrate content and poor omega-3 to omega-6 ratio, potentially contributing to inflammation, precisely what we're trying to minimize after 60. Macadamia nuts, while containing healthy fats, are extremely calorie-dense with limited nutritional diversity, making them an inefficient choice when caloric needs decrease, but nutrient requirements remain high in later years. Pine nuts can trigger a condition called pine mouth in some seniors, a bitter metallic taste that can last for weeks and significantly affect appetite and nutrition in an already vulnerable population. Peanuts, technically legumes, frequently harbor aflatoxins, naturally occurring mycotoxins that place additional stress on the liver, which typically functions less efficiently after 60. Commercially roasted and salted mixed nuts, regardless of variety, often contain excessive sodium and inflammatory oils that can exacerbate hypertension and joint inflammation common in older adults. Looking at the broader perspective, what these 10 nuts, 5 beneficial and 5 problematic, tell us together is that nutritional choices become more consequential, not less, as we age. The margin for dietary error narrows, making informed selections increasingly important for maintaining independence and quality of life. For those facing challenging health conditions, remember that these nutritional approaches work best as complements to appropriate medical care, not replacements. Always discuss significant dietary changes with your healthcare provider, particularly if you're on medications for chronic conditions. As for actionable next steps, I recommend implementing what I call the senior nut rotation. A simple approach my clients have found extremely effective. Monday and Thursday, 1 ounce walnuts Tuesday and Friday, 1 ounce almonds Wednesday and Saturday, 1 ounce pistachios or pecans, alternating weeks. Daily, 1 Brazil nut. Sunday, nut-free day to reduce any risk of sensitivity development. This rotation ensures optimal nutrition without overconsumption of any single variety. Store your nuts in the refrigerator or freezer to prevent rancidity of their healthy oils, and choose organic when possible, as conventional nuts can be heavily treated with pesticides. Remember that healthy aging isn't about deprivation. It's about making strategic choices that allow you to thrive. These simple nut recommendations represent one of the most accessible yet powerful dietary interventions available for supporting cognitive function, cardiovascular health, metabolic balance, and overall vitality after 60. If you found this information valuable, please hit the like button and share this video with someone who could benefit. I'd love to hear in the comments which of these nuts you'll be incorporating into your diet, or if you've already experienced benefits from any of them. In our upcoming video, we'll explore the 7 most effective herbs for reducing joint inflammation naturally. Another simple kitchen-based approach to addressing common aging concerns. Until then, remember that each nutritious choice you make is an investment in your future independence and joy.